Hello, hello. It is Susan from Sassy C Art Shop. Welcome back to my channel. If you don't know what I do here, I like to do art, creativity, fun, just a little of this and that. So a couple of weeks ago, I designed red velvet cake as a character, and I had so much fun with that. So I thought I would do another dessert character. So let's get into it. Alrighty guys, so today I am turning another dessert into a character. I had so much fun doing the red velvet one. Be sure to check that out on my channel. So I did get a few suggestions from people on TikTok and YouTube, and I do want to go through those suggestions, but I wanted to do one of my other redesigns. So like I said, back in February of 2024, I created the Foodierary challenge, and I had desserts each day that I turned into characters. So this was one day, and this is a black forest cake, and I love her design. My kind of thinking behind it was because I hear black forest, and I thought like, oh, so like a fae, like a dark fae or something like that. So that's kind of what influenced her design. She's got the chocolate and the cherries, and she has like the little whipped cream. Yeah, so that's what the Black Forest cake is. And it has like a cherry liqueur that like the cake is soaked in as well. And the one I saw, it had like shards of chocolate, like decorating the outside, which kind of looked like bark, which was cool. So that kind of influenced her wings and things like that. So that was the old design. And I do like elements of it. I still really like this one, but I wanted to give it a redesign. So let me sketch and get back to y'all. Okay, so I have just finished my sketch. You guys are going to see that in 3, 2, 1. Ta-da! So like I said, this is more in the style that I'm currently drawing in. I still really love my chibi one, like I said, and I really liked certain elements of it. Like I loved the idea of her being like a dark fae in the Black Forest, and I thought it would be fun because, you know, fae wine makes humans like susceptible to suggestion and stuff, and then it's like the cherry liqueur, so hers is like especially infused with the cherry liqueur that grows specifically like in her part of the forest that she guards, and like when she offers it to humans, it makes them slaves to just her command, which I like that she's a little devious. She's a little more evil than what I've been drawing. Like a lot of them are like much softer looking characters, so I like that she's got like a bit more edge to her. So yeah, here is her design. She's got the wine glass with the little cherry that I just explained. I thought that would be really fun. She's got all these ruffles that will represent the whipped cream, and then she's got like the wings, and I'm gonna try and do like a melting chocolate effect. But we'll see how that goes. I feel like that's going to be hard to color. So I kind of kept her hairstyle, and I kind of kept like the slightly more slanted eyes compared to the more round look. She's got all this cherry jewelry, and it's going to be like a red and brown and white color scheme. And then I did a basic background of like a dark forest. So we'll see how that goes, but let's get into the line work and start doing stuff. So I am using my Ohuhu fine liners just to do the eyes. I have found that that actually works a little better. I can get finer lines and the eyelashes stand out a bit more. So I do that for the outline of the eyes. However, for the rest of it, as I've been doing the Prismacolor colored pencils for the rest of the line work. I really love this. I love how soft a look it gives it, even though this is a more evil character or a devious character. She's not exactly evil. She's a little bit. But anyway, I do like the look of it with the markers. I used a variety of different browns and reds and purples. And I did add some gold detailing with my Ohuhu fine liner just because I thought it needed a little bit, especially like where the cherries are, just to give it that nice contrast. So yeah, nothing too special with the line work. I think it went really well. I am excited to start coloring. So let's get into that in just a second. Alrighty guys, so I have just finished the line work as you saw. So it's coming together. I think the coloring is really going to make this. So let's go ahead and get into that. All right, so I'm getting right into the coloring. Now, normally I save the background for last, but this time I wanted to do it first. For one, had a clear idea what I was going to do. And for another, I just was like, you know what? I kind of feel like if I get the background done first, I'll actually be motivated to do the character compared to when I do the character first. I'm like, I don't want to do a background, and it just ends up being like super simple. This is still a pretty simple one. So I just went in with a few sort of red, brown, grays, and I just did the whole thing in this one color, the lightest color first, and then I went in with a few darker shades to add a bit of depth and things like that to kind of give her a little bit more of a lighting effect. And then I went in with a very dark gray that I used to create the black forest around her. I didn't use straight black. I felt like that would be a little too harsh, but it gives the illusion of the forest around her. And I really, really like how it turned out. And then I just did a couple of little cherries in the corner. And then I used a paint pen to create this sort of framing effect. And I feel like it looks really good on her. All right, so now I am just starting the coloring of the character. Like I said, I wanted her to have a bit more of a devious expression, so I gave her the red eyes to represent the cherries and things like that. I'm giving her a pale skin tone, even though it is a chocolate cake. I could have gone with a darker skin tone to reflect that, but I really liked the contrast, and I am including brown in the dress, so I didn't feel like it was necessary. All right, so I thought I would do something a little bit different for you guys this time. So, I told you a little bit of the backstory of this, so I thought I would create like the actual story. We were told never to go into the Black Forest, for dark creatures reside there. They have ways of convincing you, ways to not be yourself. But I didn't believe them. There were such sweet cherries in the forest. They would make the best pies. I knew it. But when I went in and started gathering the cherries, a laugh rang out from behind me. Mere mortal, do you think that you can steal my cherries without any sort of consequence? No, my lady, and it was a lady, but one like I had never seen. She dripped with jewels of cherries, and her dress had flounces of whipped cream. Her dark wings were made of chocolate and cherry liqueur, but somehow they lifted her off the ground as she came nearer. Well, if you think that you can live without consequence, said the fairy, for I knew it was a fairy and not a mere mortal like myself. She said, why don't you try a sip of this wine? Wine, I said, but it looked so good. It was a beautiful color, deep red and sparkling like rubies in the faint sunlight that crept through the dark trees. Yes, a single sip, said she, for it is my special wine. You are fond of the cherries that grow in these trees. It is made with a cherry liqueur and is the sweetest thing you will ever have. I knew I shouldn't. I had been warned against the Fae. I had been warned never to take their offerings, never to drink a sip of their drinks, nor take a bite of their food. But it was so beautiful. And she said it would harm me not at all. I said, convince me. So she took a sip, and her eyes were brightened, and her hair was lustrous, and I felt I needed this too. A single sip, just one. It would not hurt me. I could endure, I was sure. So she gave me the glass. It glinted as I brought it to my lips. And then I took a drink. It was the god's nectar, as they would call it. It was so sweet, but not cloying. It was the perfect amount of tartness. The cherry liqueur slid down my throat in a way that I had never known. It was the most satisfying I had ever felt. But my thoughts were growing hazy. My will was slipping away. But I didn't care, because I needed more. This wine, I had been searching for it all of my life. I needed it. I wanted it. I needed just a little more and just a little more. And so I kept drinking until not a drop remained. I was phased, and I did not know where I was, but I did not care. The beautiful being before me, her grin once sweet and inviting, was now malevolent with evil anger. Now, said she, you are mine for all eternity, and you will never have a will of your own, for you belong to me. Anyway, so yeah, that is kind of the story. I feel like I could do like a whole series about this, and that would be kind of fun. But anyway, yeah, so I'm just finishing up my coloring and stuff. I thought it would be cool if like the inside of her dress, it just kind of hints at like the different layers of the cake. So you can see that when I colored it. It's just a small detail, but I like it. What did you guys think of the story? And do you want to hear like the backstories and like me coming up with a story each time I do my art, or are you more interested in the art process itself? Let me know in the comments, because I thought that was fun coming up with an actual story. So here I'm doing the wings, and like I said, I wanted to go for like a melted chocolate look that kind of like bleeds into the like cherry liqueur. I did like the drips of the chocolate and the cherry liqueur or wine, and I used different browns and reds going from a darker to a brighter shade, and then I went in with my white paint pen to add a little bit of shine. Alrighty, guys, so I have just finished my character for a Black Forest Cake Fae, and you guys are going to see the final result in 3, 2, 1. Ta-da! So here she is. I really like her vibe. So as a reminder, so this is the one I did in 2024. This was a little chibi version, and I still really love her. I think she's super cute. I love the chocolate shards for the wings. I love the little cherry crown. I love the swooping hair. I love the color scheme. I love like the cake slice layers for the look. But so this is now. So you can see both of them at once. So I like the same idea with the, she's like a fae of the dark or black forest. So I did give her that black forest background. I really like that. I like the framing look with the little cherries. I think that's super cute. I love how like devious and evil she looks. Like she looks like definitely she would submit humans to unimaginable torture, but like in an elegant way, because she's like really chic. I love the wings. They're probably one of my favorite parts of the entire thing because it kind of looks like melting chocolate. The hair swoop, again, I want to get that in. I really liked that. I love how I incorporated the whipped cream as like ruffles. I love the like melting chocolate look. I love the little cherry details throughout, like here and on the shoes and in the jewelry. I love that she's carrying the wine glass to kind of convey more of the story. So yeah, that is how she turned out. Y'all let me know what other desserts I should create into a character, because this series is so much fun and I would love to do more. All right, guys, so that is it for me today. Here is what I created. Black Forest Cake as a character. I really like how she turned out. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what other desserts I should try, or foods. I'm open to things other than desserts, but I just think desserts are fun. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you liked this kind of content. And I also offer commissions, so if there's something you want, let me know. All the information's in the description below. Until the next one, I'll see y'all. Bye.